If we're not feeding that, we're going to have a harder time hearing God. We're going to have a harder time just finding him and listening to him because we're not feeding that, right? So we have to continue to feed it, continue to charge it. So if we do feel lost, we can look and we can hear him.
Welcome to the 180 podcast. We have something very special for you today. Rather than listening to me yap, our very own Wyatt Closser gave a teaching a couple weeks ago, and we're just now getting to publishing that. He did an amazing job. So make sure that you listen to the whole thing, because I believe you will receive from what he had.
Shut your mouths. Thank you. Thank you, AJ. All right, so the title of my thing is called Are You Alone? So a lot of times in our walk with God, we feel very alone or isolated, or like we're the only one going through things that we're going through. Nobody else knows how we feel at all. We can feel distant, abandoned, isolated, or like we don't even matter. Sometimes we feel guilty about it, and we question our faith. When we feel like this and we isolate ourselves, we feel like nobody understands us or like we don't even matter. All right. So the first thing I want to cover is, why is feeling alone, why is being isolated so bad? All right. So when you isolate yourself after sin, if you sin and you just feel terrible and you sit in your room and you just don't talk to anybody about it or anything, that's when the enemy attacks you the most. He makes you feel isolated. He makes you feel alone. And he makes you feel like you're scum of the earth, all right? And he can get there and get that feeling when he makes it so you can't connect to other people. So that's why it's so important to recognize those patterns, and be around people, talk to people. If you're going through stuff, find friends, talk to Cole, talk to Ashlyn, talk to Sadie. AJ might listen. I'm not sure about that. Okay. But reach out to people and just know that you're not alone. Everybody has pretty much gone through the same stuff you're going through at some point. All right. So some examples of this, all right, people feeling alone or isolated or feeling like God has abandoned them, because we feel like that sometimes. There's parts in the Bible, a lot of parts in the Bible, where these people that, they're in the Bible, so they're important, right? I feel like we always get this elevated idea of people in the Bible that they're so important, they're so much better than us, and we could never be like them. But almost every single one of them has their doubts, right? They've doubted, they've questioned, and they feel alone, they feel scared. Judges 6 with Gideon. There we go. He asked God, he said, if you're even with us, right? Because the angel came to him when he was going to make him the judge of Israel to free them. He asked, are you even with us? Why are you letting this happen to us? The book of Job, the entire book of Job, Job's going through it very heavily. He loses pretty much everything, and he has his doubts, he has his questions, and he's like, God, what's going on? Why are you doing this to me? Do you hate me or something? Again, he has his doubts, he has his questions. Moses in the desert, if you look at, I think it's Psalm 90. Let me flip to it real quick. Psalm 90. It says a prayer of Moses, and it's a prayer of Moses, the man of God. And it says, I got to find it. Give me just a second. I should have actually wrote it in there. Basically, somewhere in here, he says how long are you going to leave us alone? Verse 13, return, O Lord, how long? Have pity on your servants. So Moses, the man of God, the guy who received the 10 commandments, he's even asking the Lord. He's having his questions. He's like, why have you left us? Return. We need you, right? So why do we end up feeling this way? All right. So the truth is, God hasn't left us. We left him. He stays where he is. He doesn't leave our side. We're the ones that drift away. So if we go to Psalm 190, sorry, not 193, 139, verses 7 through 12, it says, "Where shall I go from your spirit, or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and hold your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night. Even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you." So David is literally saying here, there's nowhere we can run from God that he won't find us, right? He is always there with us. He's always with us by our side. We can ignore him, but he's not leaving, all right? So I got this story. It's not like anything interesting. It's about a pair of gloves, okay? So I had this one pair of gloves. I think they were like some like really nice leather work gloves I had, and I'd always lose one. Like I'd always know where one of them was because I'd put it somewhere, but I could never find the other one. So I'd always move this other one around and around and around. I just move it everywhere. And finally, after enough searching, I found the other glove. That glove that I was looking for so hard, it didn't leave where I last put it. But I kept taking that other one away from it and putting it where it didn't go. That's why you lose things, because you don't put them where they're supposed to go, right? So I sat there and I kind of was like, it's kind of like our relationship with God. Like we're not putting ourselves where we need to be, so we're getting lost. We're separating ourselves from that one glove in the right spot, which is God, and we're moving around to where we shouldn't be, and we're getting lost. So now I want to talk about that God hasn't made a promise he hasn't kept. And what he promises is to seek after us when we are lost, and he desires to be in a relationship with us. Like Luke 15, 4 through 7, that's the story of the shepherd leaving the 99 to find the one, right? That's what God promises us. No matter how far we run, he's always there, and he will always run after us. He will always come to find us and bring us back to him. All right. Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. Like, I'm sure everybody pretty much knows that one. It's like, I will never leave you or forsake you, right? God there, again, is promising us he won't leave us. He's not going anywhere. So now we're going to get into some application of this stuff. How do we avoid isolation? How do we avoid feeling left alone or abandoned? So we have to continue to feed our spirit with the word and continue to seek God day after day. We have to pick up our cross daily, right? You can't just pick it up once and be like, all right, I'm good for the next 80 years of my life. No, it's a continuous process day after day that you have to continue to do for the rest of your life. So even if we don't feel like it isn't working, continue to seek him through it. The enemy attacks most when he makes you feel alone. All right. So even if we feel like it's not working, or we feel really lost, or we just like, what's the point? All right. Continue to work through that, because your feelings lie to you like a bunch of the time. So, and that's like where the enemy is attacking. He's making you feel ways that aren't true. So if you are sticking to the word, getting in your word daily, you'll know what the truth is, because that is the truth and you're constantly seeking it. All right. And you just have to continue to work through that. And it gets really hard at times. I'm not great at it. I get lazy. I don't read my Bible sometimes. But we have to continue to keep working and working. So I have an example for this. So if most of you have like an Apple Watch or like wireless headphones or something like that, right? So you know how most of them have a feature where if you lose it, it'll like ring. You can use your phone to make it ring, right? But if you don't feed that watch or feed those headphones what they need to stay alive, you don't charge them, if you lose it, it's not going to make that sound. It's the same way with our spirit and like hearing God. If we're not feeding that, we're going to have a harder time hearing God. We're going to have a harder time just finding him and listening to him because we're not feeding that, right? So we have to continue to feed it, continue to charge it. So if we do feel lost, we can look and we can hear him and find him. All right. I got through this a lot quicker than I thought I would. All right. So I have a challenge for all of you. So you're going to continue to feed your spirit, read the word, praying, seeking the presence of God in everything you do. If you're sitting there watching TV and you're kind of just like zoned out, talk to God. If you're cooking food, I don't know if you guys do that, or microwave mac and cheese or something, I don't know. You know, while you're sitting in front of a microwave watching it spin around, talk to God, you know. And there's usually don't have an excuse to like not talk to God. And I need to work on that too. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just sit there and do nothing when we could be productive and talk to God. We all should do that more probably. Not gonna lie. So to relate this, we need food, water to live, right? Well, guess what? Jesus is the living water and he's the bread of life. Boom, food, water, you're fed, you're gonna live. There you go. That's all I got. Thanks.
I hope that the Lord spoke to you through the teaching of his word today. If so, leave us a comment and let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of our content in the future. Have a blessed day.